What if the person behind one of the most famous families in pop culture wasn't a singer, a movie star, or a typical business owner, but a mom who turned public attention into a plan and made her children famous? By the end of this video, you'll learn the 3 surprising ways Kris Jenner became so powerful, including the serious claim that could threaten everything she's built. From the outside, Kris Jenner's life looks like a dream. Big houses, fancy clothes, and influence all over the world. But there's a part of her story that most people don't know, because every scandal, every problem, every big news story, she didn't just get through them. According to many people, she used them to her advantage. And what I'm about to tell you will change how you see the Kardashian family forever. But first, let me take you back to how it all started. Born Kristen Mary Houghton in 1955, Kris grew up in chaos. Her parents divorced when she was 7. She married the famous lawyer Robert Kardashian in 1978. They had 4 children and seemed like a perfect family, until they weren't. Kris did something that hinted at her future career. She had an affair, which she admitted in her book, calling it a huge mistake. But what's interesting is that this wasn't just a mistake. It was the first sign of a pattern that would control everything she touched. And that pattern? It was about to become much more planned. After divorcing Robert, Kris married Olympic champion Bruce Jenner. They had Kendall and Kylie, creating what would become the most famous family in reality TV. But behind the scenes, a complicated situation was developing. Bruce, who is now Caitlyn Jenner, later said in honest interviews that Kris was very organized, driven, and focused on fame. Caitlyn said she couldn't always be herself, and that Kris knew more about her personal problems than she showed in public. But here's the part that might surprise you. This level of control wasn't just about their marriage. It was practice for something much bigger, because in 2007, Kris would face her biggest challenge, and how she handled it would show just how far she was willing to go. Kim's famous private video was leaked. Any other parent might have hidden from the cameras to deal with the problem in private, but Kris, she saw a chance. Just months after the video was released, Keeping Up with the Kardashians started. Was that a coincidence? Many news outlets and people in the industry have questioned the timing. Reports claimed that Kris not only approved of the video's release, but also helped make the deal. Both Kris and Kim say this isn't true, but here's what they can't deny. The timing was perfect. Almost too perfect. From that moment on, Kris called herself the Momager, a name she even trademarked. She became the driving force behind billion-dollar brands. But as I looked more into this story, I found something that connects every major Kardashian moment, from Kylie hiding her pregnancy to Kim's 72-day marriage. From planned breakups to perfectly timed news, there's a pattern, a system, and former employees are starting to talk about what really happens behind closed doors. But what I'm about to show you next is the most serious claim of all. Think about Kylie's pregnancy. It was hidden for 9 months in Hollywood, which is nearly impossible, right? Then the birth was announced on Super Bowl Sunday, getting headlines all over the world. Khloe and Lamar's quick wedding, Kim's televised marriage to Kris Humphries. Every relationship was timed, managed, and used to make money. Former employees describe Kris as very strategic, someone who would plan announcements and time events to get the most attention. One former assistant called her the puppet master who turned her children into puppets. Remember the control I mentioned? Here's how far it goes. Critics have accused the family of cultural appropriation, which means copying styles from Black culture to make money. While Kris doesn't do this herself, as their manager, she allowed it and made money from it. From hairstyles to clothes, the family made money from styles that came from Black culture, often without giving credit. And Kris, who guided the business choices, faced the complaints. But this issue was different from what happened in 2022. Blac Chyna sued Kris and her daughters for $100 million. She accused them of lying to hurt her reputation and using their power to damage her career and reality show. In court, Chyna claimed Kris lied to TV bosses, calling her a problem, and worked behind the scenes to protect the family's image. The Kardashians won the case, but the details that came out were important for how people see Kris, because this lawsuit showed something much deeper. The most serious criticism Kris faces isn't about business deals or media tricks. It's about her own children. While other Hollywood parents protect their kids from the spotlight, Kris moved toward it. Every challenge, every emotional moment, every family problem, the cameras were there, deals were signed, and the show's popularity grew. Critics call it exploitation. They say she used her children's lives for content and turned their personal problems into stories for the show. Even when Kim was robbed in Paris or Khloe had relationship troubles, everything was used for the show. Some call it smart. Others call it a type of exploitation. But here's the question that is still unanswered. Who is Kris Jenner really? Is she a loving mother who knew how to use the media to help her children? Or is she a calculating planner who built $1 billion empire on drama and exposure? After looking into this story, I believe the answer is both. And that's what makes her so interesting. Because Kris Jenner didn't just play the fame game, she changed the rules. She proved that in a world where attention is valuable, drama can be like money, and family stories can become an empire. Love her or criticize her, you can't deny her influence. But Kris Jenner isn't the only powerful person working behind the scenes in Hollywood. If you enjoyed learning the hidden truth behind one of entertainment's biggest families, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I expose the surprising secrets that powerful people don't always want you to know. And remember, in a world where image is everything, the truth is usually hiding right in front of you. You just have to know where to look.